Hey besties, how you doing today? If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Blush Between the Covers and I like to talk about smut books because I read a lot of them and do my makeup at the same time. Today, we're going to be talking about Phantasma, okay? Because I'm not okay. I just finished this book last night and I'm not okay. I need to talk about it right now. Right now, okay? I know last video, if you're returning, I said that we were going to talk about the last book in the Devil's Night series. I promise we will, just not today because Mama needs to talk about this book, okay? Mama needs to. Need to get it freaking off my chest. I need to yap. Need to yap about it because last night nobody cared. Nobody cared to listen to my yapping at like an ungodly hour of the morning, okay? Um, yeah. I just need to talk about it. Okay, next week I will talk about Nightfall for real. But today I just need to talk about Phantasma because I'm not over it. It's been over 12 hours and I'm not over it. Okay? All right? Yeah, hi, hello. If you're new here, again, I'm Blush Between the Covers and I do my makeup and I yap about smut books at the same time. If you like a bit of yapping, if you like books, if you like makeup, cool. Hey, hi, welcome. I'm the person for you. If you don't like books and you don't like makeup, that's okay. If you don't like yapping, it's really not okay because that's what I do. If you actively hate makeup though and you actively hate books, the exit button's like up here somewhere. Okay. Close the tab. Go click on another video. All right. But if you're returning, hey bestie. Hey, hey, thanks for coming back. Um, I need to we need to just talk about it, okay? All right. I have to find the other clip. Okay, I didn't find the other clip that I was looking for, but I found these cutie little bows. So we're gonna run with it, okay? Thanks. So, Phantasma. Okay, let's get into it. All right. So this book is, I'm gonna call it a romantasy book, okay? Because it's fantasy and it's romance, right? Right. So it starts off with this lovely girl, Ophelia Grimm, and her sister, Genevieve Grimm, finding their mother, Tessie Grimm. Okay, I'm going over all these names because they're very integral. All right. So anyway, they find their mom, Tessie Grimm, dead. Okay, and Ophelia wakes up. She can't sleep, and she's like, "There's got to be a reason why." So she goes and she discovers her mom's body, and she immediately springs into action because she has to absorb her mother's magic because her mom is a necromancer, and it's like a generational thing. So she's got to absorb these necromancer abilities, magic, whatever, in order to continue to carry on the family's legacy because her mom. Hold on. I have this really awesome habit recently of like getting makeup everywhere. Like this little pump. She's seen better days, okay, but she just squirted tinted moisturizer everywhere. Anyway, I'm just gonna deal with what we have here. Anyway, Ophelia has to continue on the family's legacy because her mom has been preparing her for this, and her sister Genevieve is like, what if you didn't? You know, because like you have your own life, Ophi. Like, come on. And Ophelia's like, no, like I have to do this. This is my job. This is my calling. This is what our mother wanted. So she absorbs this magic. Now she is a necromancer, and her eyes change to this super duper icy blue color, like, you know, that unsettling kind of like super duper almost white blue color. It's actually like my head very pretty, but you know, it's unsettling to those around. Okay. So her eyes change and everything like that, and they have to, call coroner and whoever else to deal with their mom's dead body. And she just kind of like dropped dead. You know, no, she wasn't sick, like nothing. She just poof, dead. So the girls are like, what the frick? But you know, whatever. It happens, I guess. And so the girls lay their mom to rest. Um, and they, go to the coroner's office the next day, and they deal with all that, and then they go home. And after they go home, these men from the bank come. They were like, "Hey, um, sorry to like put this on you right now, but your mom basically put like a lien on the house because she owes us a lot of money, and she used the house as like collateral." I couldn't think of the word for a second. But she used the house for collateral, and yeah, we're gonna take it away because your mom owes us money, and has not paid it back in full yet. And Ophelia's like, what do you mean? This house has been in our family for like centuries, dude. Like, what? Huh? And they're like, well, like just come to the bank with us. And she's like, okay. And they present her with, you know, checks that her mom made out to the bank, and Ophelia's really looking at them. Okay, she's like, something, something ain't right. Like she knew her mom's signature, like it was nothing. Okay, and she could see that two of the checks were not signed by her. They're signed by somebody else that forged her signature. So obviously, Ophelia's like, freaking Genevieve, do you know anything about this? Genevieve's like, psh, what? No, that's great. This is crazy. I had no idea. And the girls are on their way home, and they get into a little, like, silly, frivolous argument. And, you know, Philia and Genevieve end up splitting up. And as Ophelia is walking home alone, she gives Genevieve some time apart from her. As she's walking home, she is taking the way that she normally knows, and passes or the spot where an old cathedral should be, but instead it's like shrouded in like darkness, and it's not a cathedral at this moment. Um, and she senses these beings because now, as a necromancer, she can, see apparitions and talk to the dead. So she's peering into the darkness, and her mom told her to never, peer into the darkness. Don't, you know, talk to devils. Um, don't make any deals with anybody, devils and the likes. Um, and whatever. Like she's got this whole code that she essentially um has to live by or has lived by due to her mom. And she ends up, just I guess throwing caution to the wind, who cares? Um and she feels his presence, but she doesn't see anything. And she's like, "Hey, do you need help? Like, are you good? Do you need help like crossing over? What can I do to help you?" And she just like hears a voice, and the voice, essentially says, "You can help by getting the heck out of here and hoping that we never cross paths again." And the voice calls her Angel. Okay, important detail right there. So, um, after Ophelia has this encounter, she goes home. She continues her way home. She's like, "That's weird, whatever. Could swear that, the old cathedral's there. I don't understand what's going on." So, gets home and she's looking for Genevieve and she is ready to apologize, because she, feels like she overreacted about their little tiff that they got into. But Genevieve's gone. And Ophelia's like, "Oh my god, I drove my sister away. What the frick?" She feels like terrible. She's now going through her sister's stuff to see where she could have gone because Genevieve's just like, "Hey, gotta go." Like, left a note, "Gotta go, see you later. Don't look for me. I'll come back, when I'm ready." But, Ophelia's like, "No, I'm gonna go find you." So she looks through her sister's diary and she sees this flyer for Phantasma. And Phantasma is this really wicked game type thing. Think like kind of Hunger Games, not really. Trying to think like what to compare it to, but I feel like there really is no comparison. But anyway, um, it's a game where a bunch of contestants compete in these trials that are similar to the 9 circles of hell, and whoever wins, there can only be one winner, um, gets granted a prize of a devil's grant. So this person, whoever wins, can have whatever they want, like no stipulations, no funny business, just they get whatever they wish for. So, you know, Ophelia's like, "That's weird. My sister hates the paranormal, but she must be doing this to, you know, save our house, and I drove her to do this, blah, blah, blah." So, naturally, what does Ophelia do? Pack up her stuff so that she could also enter Phantasma. And she's just going off a whim here, okay? She realistically has no clue if Genevieve actually is going to Phantasma, but all the signs point to it. So she's like, "I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, you know, get my sister and we're gonna get the hell out of here." Um, but she goes and she enters Phantasma, and the price to enter Phantasma is revealing your biggest fear. Okay? And this devil that's checking them in like scans her brain to see, what her biggest fear is. My dog needs to be let out. Hold on. False alarm, she duped me. Anyway, so um the price to pay to get into Phantasma is your greatest fear. So the devil out front scans, her brain, reaches into the depths of her mind and pulls her greatest fear from there, because Phantasma will use your greatest fears against you um while you're there. Just bring this all the way to my eyeball. Um, but while she's, I'll say, checking in to Phantasma, um, Ophelia's like, "Have you seen a girl that looks like me, but she's a little bit more curvy and has a wild mouth and XYZ?" Describing her sister. Hi, babe. Uh, and Devil's like, "We can't discuss who's here and who's not. But if your sister is here and you make it past the 7th level, and so does she, if she's here, you can go looking for her. But until the 7th level, you have to stay in your designated wing with your designated team, um, and or group rather. I wouldn't really say it's a team; they're not working in teams. With your designated group, and after that, we've got free reign. Go wherever the hell you want." So Ophelia begrudgingly is like, "All right, whatever, sure." So she's now determined to make it past the 7th level so that she can find her sister. And upon, you know, getting into Phantasma and, settling in, she meets the other contestants in her group. And some of them are pretty wild, nasty characters. And, others are really nice to her. There's these cousins that are part of the game. One of them, Lucy, is really, really nice. And the other one, Kate, is a total dickbag, okay? Total freaking, you want to punch him in the throat, douche lord, okay? And then he's got his little, like, crony friends. Rudely paused my recording. Um, but he's got his little bunch of crony prick boyfriends. Um, and they're just a bunch of dick bags to everyone. And whatever. That's just a little side note. But Ophelia is, you know, settling in as settled as you can be in a like horrific contest. Um, and there are scheduled haunts that go on throughout the day, throughout the evening, whatever you want to say. Um, and the first one comes about when Ophelia is taking a bath, and this ghoul comes out of the tub, and she runs, she freaking bolts, and as she's running away, she falls into this pit. Um, Actually, no, she is running down a hallway, and then she ends up like just falling, and um she then falls into the pit. But she's first in this really weird hallway, and then has to you know trap what the frick was chasing her um behind like this hidden bookshelf door thing. No, that's not it. She shoves the bookcase in front of it. My brain is everywhere. Um, so she shoves the bookcase in front of the door that she just ran through. Yeah, that's it. To keep the creature inside. I promise I read this book. Okay. I read it so freaking fast though, and I'm just not okay with the whole rest of the book that, these little minor things. I don't want to say they don't matter. They do matter, but like so much more. There's so much more. All right, hold on. I have to get my cat off my lap. So anyway, minor details aside, now that I've got my cat off my lap and I can focus, Um, Ophelia is falling through this like weird ass little portal. She hears a bunch of whispering on the way down, and she lands in this room, and there's this really devilishly handsome phantom that she, I guess we'll say runs into, but like really just crashes in front of. Um, and he is described to be like this super duper handsome looking feller with these really bright green eyes. So he sounds super duper attractive and he's got white hair, okay? So immediately my brain went to this guy looks like a Starian. So the entire book, anytime this character, his name is Blackwell, anytime Blackwell was, you know, talked about and in the picture, I pictured a Starian. And if you don't know who the hell a Starian is, you're touching too much grass. Um, and you need to get onto Baldur's Gate, okay? Or honestly, you probably haven't spent that much time on the internet, and maybe you should spend some more time on the internet because even if you didn't play Baldur's, you had to have seen him somewhere. You had to know the name. You have to. You have to, okay? But anyway, um, just picture a Starian as I am, talking about Blackwell because that is my brain's interpretation of him, of this character. So anyway, um, freaking, she lands in front of Blackwell, and he's a smart aleck, so he makes some comments, whatever, and she's like, "Hey, I know you." He's like, "Huh? You do?" She's like, "Yeah, we met yesterday," because he calls her Angel, and she knows his voice, and he's like, "Well, I don't remember meeting you. Like, please tell me about our meeting. I hope it was a good one, like an agreeable meeting." And she's like, "Are you pulling my leg? Are you pulling my tail? Like, what do you mean you don't remember?" Um, and he explains to her that he has kind of like a short-term memory type thing. Like he can only remember things that like go on in Phantasma, like during the trials and the levels and whatever. Like as the game is happening, that is the only thing that he can remember. He doesn't, know too much about things that happen outside. He can only really interact with people during the game and can only remember things during the game. But he also explains that he's got these, brief moments of clarity, and she must have caught him during one of those because, again, he says to her in their initial meeting that he hopes that he doesn't run into her again, um, because that would be, what's safe for her. Um, and during their meeting too, their first meeting, not this secondary one, he tells her that she can help him by finding a heart and key, and she's like, "Huh? What?" So then he again, you know, when she's telling him that they met the day before, he's like, "What did I say? Like what?" Again, walk me through, bestie. And she, says the thing about the heart and the key, and he's like, "Really? I said this?" And she's like, "Yeah." Um, so whatever, and he's like, "Well, would you would you like to help me find it? And we can make a blood bargain." And she's like, "Frick, no, I was warned to not make blood bargains. You're out of your mind, Mr. Phantom guy." But then too, she's like, you are very out of place here. You know, there's just a bunch of haunts and devils. Like, what is a phantom doing here? And phantoms are like the rarest paranormal beings um in this, book. I don't know about in general, but in in Phantasma, phantoms are like super duper rare. And Ophelia knows a lot about various paranormal beings, but she doesn't know much about phantoms because they are, so rare. Um, but Blackwell's like, let's make a blood bargain, and she's like, let's not say we did. So, he gives up um that that first night, and he lets her think about it. And then he ends up offering the blood bargain again, and she's like, okay, well, you know what is the deal? Like, what is the bargain? Okay, and he's like, I will help you, and I will come to your beck and call and help you um with the trials and help you win. Um and in return, you help me find this, heart and key. But if you fail to find the heart and key before the end of Phantasma, I get 10 years of your life. And she's like, hmm, I don't know about this, Chief. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. And she's like, you know what? Frick it. I'm gonna find it, So let's do it. You're on. Um, and then the freaking trials begin. So the first trial is Limbo. Um, and the trials start off with a, devil that created the level um, coming and giving them a hint that they have to remember um, to get them through the trial. So Ophelia um, gets into this trial and she makes it out, whatever. But during it, she uses some of her magic because it is a, dire situation and she needs to. But she gets, caught doing so. And that freaking dickwad Cade, calls her a demon and, whatever because, she uses magic and blah blah blah, and he goes and he attacks her and she turns invisible. What? And that's like news to her. So um after that he's especially like, yo, you are a devil, you know um and I'm gonna convince everybody that you're a devil, blah blah blah. So he does um until he goes and slaps her and she bleeds red. Devils don't bleed red, babe. um yeah, bug. um Devils don't bleed red. So then everybody's like, sure, she's bleeding, and it's not like devil's blood. Explain that one. And so he's like, but, 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 there's something that's not right about her. Um, but they're like, dude, frick off. Like, you are a little Larry lies a lot, and we don't freaking trust you. But whatever. Trials go on, and while Ophelia and Blackwell are looking for um, his heart and key, um, they stumble across this carving in the floor that says Gabriel Forever. And now going back to, um, you know, Genevieve and Ophelia before Phantasma. While Ophelia was going through Genevieve's diary, she sees this like quick note written down that says find Gabriel. So then once she sees um this carving in the floor that says Gabriel forever, she's like, that's gotta be it. That's gotta be connected. Like we have to figure out who Gabriel is. Um and whatever. So she's like, he had to have been a contestant here. So Blackwell arranges to get the like contestant log. I don't know why freaking during this she didn't check to like make sure her sister's name was in there and she wasn't freaking wasting her time, but like whatever. What do I know? I'm just a girl. And so her and Blackwell are searching this log for, you know, Gabriel, and they end up freaking it, you know, as as one does in these spicy little romance books. But they freak it, and I'm like, freaking out ghosts, okay. Okay, I'm into it. Um, but they end up freaking it, and you know, she's like, we can't do this. This is no, we can't get attached. We are strictly, you know, business partners, and that is it. And you know, Blackwell's like, all right, well, you know, if you change your mind, you know where to find me. You know how to summon me. Um, so you know, they're all like, hush hush, we can't do this again. And you know, they keep going on business as usual, but, and it's a big but, um, this devil appears. His name is Sinclair. This devil appears, and he's really trying hard to, you know, wedge himself between Blackwell and Ophelia. And he's like, I think that you should make a deal with me and not help him, and I will, you know, break your blood oath or your blood bargain with Blackwell, and you know, that's it. You just have to help me not help him, because he needs to stay here. I can sneeze again. Hold on. Okay, I have snuzzed my last sneeze. So freaking Sinclair's like, yeah, you shouldn't help him. And she's like, but why? And he's like, we are enemies. And, you know, if I'm stuck here, he's stuck here. And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes on to explain that the other devils can't talk about the creator of Phantasma, but he can, because, you know, it's not in his like contract, if that's what you want to call it, that he can't talk about it. Where the other devils, it's in their contract that they can't, um, you know, talk about the creator, or you know, say his name or anything like that. So Sinclair's like, yeah, me and Salacious, we used to be freaking buds. And one day, you know, his papa, because Salacious is the prince of the devils, he's like, one day, Salacious got his freaking hand slapped because he fell in love with a mortal. And that's why, if you fall in love in Phantasma, you're cursed. And, you know, whatever. But Sinclair's like, yeah, so being friends with him and basically like supporting my friend's decision to fall in love with a mortal, I am stuck here and I wanna make sure that Blackwell's stuck here too. And she's like, okay. Still like, all right, well, sure, I guess. Whatever you say, dude. And he's like, are you sure? You sure you don't wanna take up Adelia with me? And she's like, yeah, I'm sure. I don't I don't fuck with devils. So hard pass. But good luck. Maybe you'll find somebody that's willing to help you. And he's like, all right, well, I'll try again later. And before he leaves, he's like, ask him about page 802 or whatever. Like some page that had names on it. And so she goes and she looks at this page and she sees the name Gabriel White and then a couple names above that or below that on the same page. She sees her mom's name. Tessie Grimm was a freaking contestant in Phantasma? What? And Ophelia's like, I didn't know that. My freaking mom was a contestant. And then she's pissed. She's pissed at Blackwell because she's like, dude, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, well, I wanted to figure out how to tell you. And, whatever. He's like, Gabriel White is your dad. And I knew him. And she's like, what the frick, dude? Why are you just telling me this? And he's like, well, I had to be sure. I had to be sure. I didn't want to come at you with false information. She's like, all right, like fair, I guess. um, but why is one side looking so much better than the other? Is it just the lighting? I think so. But he's like, I had to be sure. And while we're on the topic, I helped your dad when he was in this competition. He was, one of my contestants. And she's like, what? Like, I don't know how I feel about all this right now. He's like, that is totally fair, totally valid. Do do what you got to do. Process your feelings, whatever. And she's like, okay, cool. So she processes this and she's like, I don't know realistically like how to feel because I never knew my father. I never knew of him, and honestly, I feel like the less I knew about him, the better. Because you know why traipse around the idea of a father? I guess it's just her mom and her sister. That's all she's ever known, and all she basically will ever know. Because Gabriel White is done. He's a goner. Because Blackwell, said that he was helping her dad, and then all of a sudden, her dad just stopped calling for him and stopped calling for him like way before he had passed away, kicked the freaking buck. And Ophelia's like, well, what the frick? You didn't try looking for him? And he's like, I gave up. Because if he gave up, why should I, continue to look for him? If he doesn't want my help, he doesn't want me, fine, whatever, bye. Bye, dude. Um so, again, Ophelia's like, well, makes sense, I guess. And so she just carries on with Blackwell and they continue to find more information about Gabriel, and then it makes sense too. Gabriel and her mom fell in love in Phantasma, so they're cursed, and the curse essentially was that, well, for them, for Tessie and Gabriel, was, he was going to continue to be madly in love with her for forever, and she was just going to pull away and, not want to be with him anymore. And that is, 100% what happened. Um, so, all of this is coming to light, and Ophelia's like, shit, well, it makes sense now. And she's like, but how did Genevieve, find out about all of this and whatever? So, she gotta wait till the freaking seventh trial. Well, after it, in order to ask her sister about it. But Ophelia does a lot more digging and searching for Blackwell's key and, heart, whatever. And during this too, Sinclair comes around again, and he's like, "Hey, have you reconsidered at all?" And she's all like, "No." Um, and he shows her essentially what he can do as a little taste test. Um, and he puts this grandiose ball in front of her because she tells him that that's one of her biggest desires, whatever. Mainly because she couldn't think of anything other than something that had to do with Blackwell. So she tells him that this grand ball is something that she wants, and he puts it in front of her, but he traps her there. Blackwell can't really get to her. He does in the end, but you know, Sinclair is putting a divide between them, and Blackwell's also pissed. Um, he tells her to stay the hell away from that devil and XYZ, blah blah blah. I need the mirror. It's too far. Um, the trials go on, and Ophelia and Blackwell are getting way, I don't want to say too close, but too close for comfort in Phantasma, because Ophelia is catching the feelings for him, and it's not okay because she's gonna be cursed. And so Ophelia puts her foot down. She's like, "We cannot freaking keep doing this. Like, I will only call you when I need you. Leave me alone, give me space, whatever." That lasts for about 5 minutes before they're freaking it again, and then you know Blackwell flips the script and he's like, we need to not be involved. And then she's pissed. She's like, we tried this and it obviously clearly did not freaking work. Um, and Blackwell is like, we have to. Sorry, because we're getting a little too close and gotta back up. We're wasting time here. We gotta look for the key and the heart and blah blah blah. So, Ophelia's pissed about this, and so what happens? Frickin' Sinclair comes up to her again for like the millionth time, and he's like, "Well, I can show you a good time, baby." And she's like, "All right, well, let's try." And he's like, "Are you sure?" Like, I'll stop. You say when, and I will stop, because even though I'm a devil, I will not take what is not granted to me. And I think it's mighty gentlemanly, um, for a devil. Um, he does not believe in um essay or, anything of that sort. I think that's very, very kind, Mr. Devil. But anyway, so Ophelia is like, "Yep, let's do it." So she's smooching on this freaking devil, and then he's got his hands in her pants, and she then, is like, "No, we have to stop. I'm not feeling it, Mr. Krabs." And man of his word, he stops. Uh, and he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't feel the same. Sorry." And Sinclair is like, "Well, whatever. Pasta la pasta, I guess." And she sees him. She sees him later, because he is the devil for the next thingy trial. Not like the immediate next trial, because he goes through, I think at least one more before it's Sinclair's trial. Sinclair's trial is fraud, and that's the eighth one. Okay, got it. But at this point, Ophelia's grown and changed so freaking much. She's killed somebody, first of all, um, with her bare hands. Um, the first, well, she killed two people. The first one was like kind of an accident ish, kind of. And the second one was like, had to, life or death. Gotta freaking do it. But she has changed so freaking much, because she never would have freaking picked herself to be a killer or anything like that. So, hold on. I'll be right back. I don't think I could draw this line and talk at the same time. Okay, I did it. So, Ophelia has changed so freaking much, and she has this shadow voice in her head, and it's like an alter ego type thing, and it's the one thing that she fears the most. Um, that she is going to give into it, and it is going to win, and escape, and make her really terrible. And after the trial where she kills Cade, oh, because she kills Cade with her bare hands, and I'm like, "Snap, girl, you really did that. Wow." So she kills Cade, and she comes face to face with her shadow voice, and the shadow voice is really quiet when Blackwell's around. So she thanks Blackwell a lot for making that voice go away, and the voice goes away, whatever. But now she's standing face to face with the shadow voice, and she calls for Blackwell, and he ends up coming, but it's a little too late. Um, because in this haunt where the shadow voice comes, she ends up hurting herself and like tearing open her skin, and clawing, and really mutilating herself. But Blackwell comes and he finds her, because he said that he would always come for her and he'd always find her, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But he you know, comes and saves the day, and he fixes her up, and he takes her back to her room, and they kiss and make up, and they freak it. And while they're freaking it, Oh, because this is the end of the 7th level. While they're freaking it, Genevieve shows up. Yeah! Our girl freaking Genevieve! And she comes in, she's like, "You can introduce me to your friend?" And freaking Ophelia is mortified. But the two sisters catch up, and Genevieve tells Ophelia that a devil had essentially sent her to find her sister based off of an interaction that she had where the devil said that she looked a lot like a different contestant. And right then and there, she knew that Ophelia had entered the competition and she was going to go find her. And she did. She just happened to stumble upon a freaking it session. And yeah. So um, Blackwell, leaves the room. He's like, "I'll leave you to it. Have fun." And Ophelia and Genevieve catch up. They tell each other their salacious details of everything, and their experiences in the competition so far. And Ophelia is trying to convince her sister to leave the competition because only one of them can win, and obviously she's not going to do anything to hurt her sister. But Genevieve is all like, I came here, this was my decision, I was going to do this for us. And Ophelia is like, "No, no, no, I'm your sister, I'm your older sister, shut up, let me let me handle this." And explains to her too that she has changed a lot throughout this, and she has to finish helping Blackwell in his conquest to escape Phantasma and not shave off 10 years of her life. So her, Blackwell, and Genevieve go and search the manor, and they come to find that the wings of the house are all the same. It's the same wing, and it exists in different linear planes. So having access to the rest of the manor means absolutely nothing because it is all the same room. So they give up, and Blackwell comes and tells the girls that a bunch of people have started hunting because they only have one more level to get through, and only one person can win the Devil's Grant. So this is around the time that other contestants start going around and other contestants. So at this point, Ophelia really puts her foot down and is like, "Genevieve, please pack your stuff and go." So she does. She listens to her sister and she does. And then the next trial happens, and Ophelia is faced with two Genevieves in the trial, and she has to pick which one's the real one. It's neither of them. So she wins that trial, and as soon as she gets out, she's like, "I want my prize. I'm summoning the door. Let's go." And, like I said, Sinclair is the devil outside of this trial, and he's all like, "It's not going to open for you. You can't summon it. You're not the last contestant. Blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Watch me, bitch. I've already summoned it. I just didn't know how to get in there the first time." And got a lot to say about this in the back. I don't know if you hear him. But she summons this door, and she goes to open it and it won't open. And so the Blackwell tells her how she can open it, and it's by saying the creator's name 3 times. So she gets sucked in through this door, and two, Blackwell's trying to, convince her not to go through the door as well, and is making sure that it's really what she wants to do. And she's like, yeah, I have to go. Freaking, let's go, Buster. She gets in, and it's just dark. It's a dark room, and it's just a single spotlight. And she's calling around. She's like, hello, hello, anybody home? And then she tries to summon Blackwell, and Blackwell appears, and she's talking to him, and he sounds a little different, but it's him. It looks like him, and he. Oh man, this is where I became not okay, because guess freaking what, besties? Blackwell, his full name, salacious. Insert middle name that starts with an E, because I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. Blackwell. Salacious Blackwell. I was sat. I have never been sat faster in my life. I said, what? What do you mean? He's a phantom, not a devil. Well, it's like 2 different freaking people. The same person. Just, freaking. What the frick? What the frick? And even Ophelia's like, what do you mean? And he goes and he tells her all about how he fell in love with a mortal and his father punished him, and that's why he can't remember anything. Ugh. Ugh. Retells like the whole shebang. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. She's been freaking with the devil this whole time. This girl, also, this girl. I'm freaking slack-jawed because plot twist of the century. I wasn't expecting that. If you read the book and you expected that, you're wild for that. Because I had no idea. And I immediately like sat with Kindle in hand, like that. Could not believe it. Turn of the century. Wow. But Blackwell's telling her all this, and she I don't want to say she doesn't care, but she is like, oh, I still want to help you, and actually my prize that I wanted to come here for was to ask to have your tether removed and to have you set free. And the devil, the devil prince, is like, you were really gonna do that for me? And so he is so touched by this, and she's like, yeah, because I freaking love you. And he's like, don't say that. Nope, no, 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 you don't mean that. You don't mean that. We don't want you to be cursed. We don't want you to be cursed. And she's like, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever. And Ophelia's been wearing this locket, this heart locket, and it is supposed to contain the soul of the frickin' mortal that Blackwell fell in love with centuries ago, and it was given down, through generations of the Grimms. Um, and then it happened upon Ophelia, and she was told to never take it off because when she does take it off, her heartbeat slows and essentially like dies. Like I don't know how to explain that. But her heart slows because the locket is kind of like a life force in her heart. So she realizes that this is the heart and key that she's been freaking looking for the whole time. It's not something that was in the manor unless you count her. Um it's not an object, that they were really looking for. And so she tells him that she loves him and she doesn't care. And he is like, I can give you a heart as a gift for breaking my tether to this place. Uh, but I can't fix the curse uh unless I am restored with my full power and uh I don't have to go back to the other side. And Ophelia is like, okay, yeah, cool. I will take the new heart. No questions asked. Uh and I will be your tether to this world. And Blackwell is like, you have to be 110% sure about this because by being my tether to this world, you live forever with me. I mean, you don't have to be with me, but you will live as long as I do. As long as I am living, you are living. And that is an eternity. And he really drills it in. And an eternity is a really long time. And he's like, well, yeah, uh, that's cool. That's fine. As long as I get to be with you. And he was like, please, please think about this, whatever. But the story ends like that. The main story ends with him asking her, what her decision is. And then we flash forward to the epilogue, and living happily ever after the end. I love that. She chose to freaking be with him for all eternity, and I think that that's really cute and sweet. The freaking my god, dude. The GD plot twist had me like thrown. I could not freaking believe it. I could not believe it. I still can't believe it. Freaking I can't wait. I can't wait for the next book. I I have to wait until April. That's fine. And the next book focuses on Genevieve. But that was a really freaking good book, man. I don't really know what I went in expecting. Uh, kind of nothing. um, I just heard that it was good, and whatever. But I did not freaking expect that to go the way that it did. I'm not over Blackwell being the Prince of Devils. That is cuckoo bananas to me. But wow, dude. Wow. If you read this book, freaking Let me know if you had the same reaction in the comments down below. If you didn't read this book and you have made it this far, um, comment, I don't know, comment something. Comment anything. Um, tell me, tell me your favorite color. I don't know. Um, but if you made it this far and you like the video, please like it. If you dislike it, that's okay. Dislike it. If you don't mind and you're not subscribed already and you like the content that I'm feeding you, um, feel free to hit that little subscribe button. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. Us rather. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Um, next week for sure, for sure, for sure. I will get back to our regularly scheduled program and I will finish talking about the Devil's Night series and we'll talk about Nightfall. But like I said, I had to sit down and talk about freaking Phantasma like right now, right away, right away. Well, it was fresh in my noggin. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out today. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.